Hello and
Welcome to
Daddy Daughter Gaming.
I'm Carl.
I'm Amelia.
She's my daughter.
He's my dad.
And together we're going to make videos about games that appeal to me.
And games that appeal to me. So let's head to the games room.
So this is the game we're going to talk about today, D6. I received this through the post a couple of days ago, having backed the Kickstarter campaign. The production value, you can see straight away when you look at the box, absolutely lovely. It's a nice, big, chunky box full of goodness. Now I'm going to set this up and we'll talk about that. Okay, you can see straight away here the absolutely beautiful box. I know I shouldn't get so excited about a box, but as games are tending to do now, the boxes are so well designed so that everything fits inside. You can see you've got these lovely 3D terrain pieces, the board, you lift this off, nice slot for everything inside there. It's just great. If I pop this out, you can see inside, again, you've got all the character boards, collections, potions and so on. I'll explain all this later on when we start playing the game. But it's just great. I've got quite a few games, and a lot of the time I'm always trying to come up with my own solutions, buying foam storage trays and things like that, but none of that is needed here. It all fits beautifully inside. Absolutely great. The art style generally is fantastic, and in fact it has inspired Amelia to do some art of her own.
Right, this is my sketchbook that I did the drawings in, and this one I thought was really cool. This one I thought, I just loved how she looked, and she looks like, you know, she's ready for what you're doing. And this one I loved her expression. She just looks really unimpressed. And so these are my drawings. They're not the same, but they're inspired by this art style. Here they are. So we've got these two. They're like a warrior friends. This one's got swords, and this one has like magic coming out of her hands. And then there's this girl who's like an elven princess. Her ears are different, and she's got a little squirrel buddy helping her. So yeah, those are the drawings, and I really like this art style.
I've set the game up now. You can see you've got the board covered in these lovely 3D elements. Got things like this. This is a dungeon.
Bright orange hill.
Bright orange hills, yes. Nice green hill there. Graveyard, more dungeons, etc, etc. And these are all places that you can visit as you explore the game. Now, the vibe of the game really is, it's like an old school D&D adventure. You're very much focusing on going out and exploring and killing monsters.
Yeah, you're trying to get like prizes, aren't you? Like getting paid for doing stuff.
Yeah, exactly right. Yes, you get gold coins, and these are quite nice little gold coins. They've got a little chink to
They
them.
make a nice sound.
Yeah, quite satisfying. In your turn, you get 3 actions. Now, lots of the things that you do don't actually use up an action.
Spending coins isn't an action, is it?
That's right, exactly. So you've got these nice little signs. I think this is something that distinguishes the game. It's quite nice. They're
Lots
little
of 3D elements.
Yeah, absolutely. And
It makes it all like real.
yeah, it's good. It's good. These are signs that you have near the village, and they show you the things you can do there. These are things that you can do anytime, and these just direct you to the cards. And lots of the things, like Amelia says, that you do with your coins don't actually take up actions. In fact, there's only 3 things in the game that do take up one of your actions, which you track here.
Yeah. Oh, they're here.
Yes, that's right. That tracks your actions.
The little jelly cube.
Yeah, it's not actually jelly.
Yes, it is.
Don't eat it. The things that take up your actions are moving, searching for new monsters, or gathering.
Are these the actions that we can do?
Yes. In fact, let's pause there for a moment and have a better look at the boards that you get with each character. So you can see here, this is a character board. You get to choose a picture for the particular character that you'd like to be. And you get a matching standee. I've gone for this slightly gruff explorer type. Amelia, where's your character?
My character is here. She is this like kind of Japanese martial art type girl, and I think she looked really cool. So yeah,
yeah, she looks very funky. Now, at the start of the game, you roll a d6 to establish your stats. Now, you've got strength, stealth, intelligence, skill. These will be quite familiar to anyone who's played anything like Dungeons and Dragons. They're fairly archetypal. If you roll a 1, 2, or a 3, it becomes a 3, and you get a gold coin as a sort of bonus for the fact that that stat isn't particularly good. 4, 5, or a 6, you put down the appropriate tile. Now, having a higher rating in a stat has bonuses in the game. So having higher strength, for example, allows you to hold more cards, can also help you in fights, and having a higher skill gives you more of these little tokens. Now, Amelia asked about these actions earlier on. They're not actions as such, they're using skills. So they don't use up one of your 3 actions for each turn, but you take one of these tokens and the rating of your skill determines how many you've got. And once you've used a skill, you place it in here to show that you've done so. When you go back to the village, you can spend a coin and get your skill slot back. The character boards are really nice. They're double thickness, and you can see that the tokens slot in. I always like that. It feels nice. These are health tokens, which you lose as you take injuries. This is your cash cube. It's basically a sort of angry gelatinous cube. Again, a D&D reference. You can spend some coins to put this thing on the board, and that's the way of hampering your opponents, and that is really a big part of the game. As much as you're adventuring, you're also trying to make life difficult for the rest of the people playing. So we're going to play through a first turn of the game. Amelia's going to take this turn. Before you start spending any actions, moving around the board, etc., everybody gets to do 2 things at the start of a turn. When it's their go. The first is to place a monster on the board. So grab a D10 on the 10 sides. That one there we go.
This one?
That's it. Okay, roll it. Okay, 10. Now, can you find 10 on the board?
That's a 0.
That counts as 10.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So there you go, very good. Now I reach into this lovely bag. This comes with the game. It's very good. And
You
pull
like
out.
bags, don't you?
I do like bags. Yes. And there you go. It is a hellhound, which is a fairly puny creature.
It looks like a really, really fluffy dog.
It is, yeah. It's a very angry, fluffy dog. So you place that there in area 10.
Still a fluffy dog.
Okay. It's going to bite you, though, if you go near it. You also get to do an open gather. Now, an open gather is where every one of the players gets a chance to gather some sort of resource. So take the D4.
This one?
Yeah, give it a roll. Number 4. You then look at your gather. Yeah, that's it, and that uses up 1 action. Good.
And now, 1 more action.
Move to there. Okay.
1 more action.
Move
now
to there.
I want to
Okay.
fight him. I'm
Okay.
rich, steady.
You are rich. So I'm dead.
He was so young.
So I start my turn by rolling it. 4. That's 4. Okay. Ooh. Actually, I've drawn another bounty. Okay.
Okay, so we've finished our playthrough and we're going to talk a little bit about our impressions of the game. Amelia, what did you think?
I love how it looks, like all the little slots for things and the character design and the 3D elements to the game. I love it. It's so like fun. It makes the game feel a lot more real, and I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it should be slightly easier to get your health and your skills back, because you have to get your skills back. You have to go to the village, you have to be in the village, and you have to spend a coin to get like 1 coin per skill. So if you've used all of them, you have to spend 3 coins and be in the village. And I've forgotten how to get your hurt points back, and I'm pretty sure it's quite hard. But I do really like the advantage cards and the fact that they have illustrations on them, because there are games where you have a description, but the cards are quite bland in some games, and it's all really fun and bright and colourful. I like that about the game.
Cool. I would also say that I love the design. It's a beautifully produced game. We do spend a lot of time actually looking at a game once it's set out on the table, so the way that the game looks is really important. And this is top notch. You expect that perhaps from Kickstarter games. They often look really good, and this is like that. However, I would still have to put this game into the category of being something that I was very excited to receive and really wanted to love, but I don't love it. I think it's decent. There's, like I've said, amazing production values, and the boards are fantastic. The rulebook is fun to leaf through. It's beautiful artwork, but it just felt a little bit shallow at times. There isn't much to the game really. You just go around and kill monsters. I would have liked more of a narrative. There are some encounters and they're kind of fun.
They're really clever, I think. But it should be easier to locate stuff in the rulebook. Like, we spent a lot of time just flicking through the rulebook trying to find certain things, and that was annoying.
Yeah, there's no index. I think there should be a law passed that you can't release a rulebook without an index. It's just so annoying as a player.
You just like sat there like this.
Yeah, I know, trying to find it, yeah, and that can be frustrating. But more than that, for me, I feel like I would have liked more regular encounters, things that are constantly adding flavour into the game. And there are little bits, like there's descriptions on these as you're trying to fulfil a bounty. It does give you something interesting to read and a reason why you're trying to kill the monster. But I would like more of that stuff. What I do think is that this game will play well with a group of probably adults more than kids, but possibly kids as well, who have played things like Dungeons and Dragons and already have that kind of group dynamic, because I think a big part of this is the players injecting life into it. You have to have that kind of banter.
You need some imagination.
You do, and you've got a good imagination though. But I feel that because I've seen the certifiable studio guys playing it, and I feel like they bring a lot of the energy to the game, which to some extent covers up a few shortcomings in the game. It's a decent game. I'm not going to whack it on eBay or anything. I will try and play it with my gaming group once COVID-19 is over.
COVID-19.
Yes, I know, that's been a lot of fun, hasn't it? But it's just not quite top notch. There will be other games that I'll reach for before this one. Any final thoughts? No? You think you said it all?
Not really. I think I said most of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
fab. Thanks for listening.
Bye.